Hello, everyone. Welcome to Now and Then, our monthly live show. I am your host, Julia Jornce Silverberg, and I'm here with my co-host, Andreas Medina. And this is the show where we bring you behind the keyboard to bring you breaking news, tips, and tools to help you up your digital marketing game, all while having a lot of fun. And our goal is really to be a voice and a sounding board for social media account managers. So we want you to think of us as your friend that's here to remind you you are not alone in the wild world of social media. And we are going to talk all about predictions today, predictions for 2022, so that you can kick the year off on a super strong foot. And so we want you to think of this as your monthly laugh and learn. So first, Happy New Year, everyone. Andreas, Happy New Year. What did you do? How are you feeling? How did you bring into the year?
Oh, we got a Happy New Year celebration right here. I like that. All right. So thank you for that, Chad. Um, my New Year's was, it was good. I wouldn't say great, but it was good. Like it could have gone worse. I know with this latest wave of a lot of sickness around, it's not been the traditional holiday season for a lot of people. But I'm a positive guy, so I I guess I'm having a great year so far. So
Well, that's good. I want to know, you guys that are watching, how did you celebrate the new year? How are you guys feeling as we start off 2022? Because that's really what we're going to talk about today specifically. We're going to talk about what you should be focused on as a brand so that you can really jump into this new year feeling inspired and excited to really show up and, as Jessica Phillips, who's going to be our lovely guest, as Jessica says, out care the competition. So we're going to dive into how you can do that. Jessica is going to share a whole bunch of stuff a little bit later. But first, we are going to really kick it off. We're going to get into some news. But before we do, I want to tell you guys a little bit about what Jessica is going to talk about. Because not only are we going to talk about specifically predictions for 2022, but we're going to talk about what Jessica likes to refer to as the 3 C's, which is clarity, conviction, and consistency. Jessica's going to share predictions and why those 3 C's are so important as they relate to what so many digital marketers are saying is the most important thing to focus on in 2022. So Andreas, I want to know, before we get into the news, what do you think brands should be focused on in this new year?
well, definitely staying up to date with updates. It's my prediction for the year because we're gonna cover this later on the show, but it's only the 6th day of the year and we are already seeing a lot of updates on social media. And I think this is going to be a year with a lot of updates, and I would say virtual reality. It's where it is. Like everyone is going into the virtual reality. I was trying to find an Oculus during the holidays just to stay up to date with technology, and they're sold out everywhere. And then I know Sony with PlayStation, they just released PlayStation VR. So my prediction, if you would, it's that virtual reality is going to find its mix with businesses. How? We'll see.
I love that. That is great. And if you guys want to get a little bit of insight into how, Jessica and Mike Gingrich host Magnet Marketers, and they had Kim Garst on Tuesday, and they started to really dive into that, specifically why video is going to be so important for brands. So love that comment, Chad. So you guys definitely want to check out Magnet Marketers if you haven't seen that episode specifically. And I just want to say, Jennifer, thank you so much for viewing. We love having you here. Your comment was so sweet. I want to really call you out and just say it's so nice to see you week after week. You guys, please don't be shy. Engage with us. Let us know how you're doing, what questions you have specifically for Jessica, because we are here to interact with you. So please don't be shy when it comes to engaging. So let's dive into some news. Okay, so our first news story is Twitter recently added auto captions for all video uploads in tweets. And what this really shows is that Twitter is continuing to push video content and really making it easier to consume that content. At the end of the day, as a brand, video is so important. It is humanizing, it's eye-catching, it's fast-moving, and it's prioritized in algorithms. So 2022 has to be the year that you guys start using video if you aren't already. So Andreas, do you want to share the next news story that we have?
Of course. So here's something that might be shocking for a lot of people, and some people might just be like not surprised. But TikTok led the way for apps download on Christmas, and it's showing the short form video content. It's growing, and I mean, I'm gonna don't judge me, but I've been addicted to TikTok over break. I know we had a long break from work last week, and all I did was watch TikTok to the point where I got to that TikTok that it says, "Wait, stop right there! You've been scrolling for way too long," and I'm like, "Oh my god, have I been scrolling for this long?" And I found myself I'm a TikTok addict now, but I'm excited to see what other updates TikTok is going to come up with. Like at this point, I feel like they're right where they want to be, especially after the holiday season. They led the way on apps download. But I'm excited to see what's going to be their next move. Like they're already at the top now. Did they peak,
Totally.
or are they going to keep going up? We'll see.
I mean, I think it's really interesting, especially the point that it is the top app downloaded on Christmas specifically. I really think there is something about people being with their family and just wanting to have fun and be silly. So I feel like TikTok is being downloaded from parents and from teenagers, and everyone is kind of making these dances and, putting these things up, and parents want to then view the content that's online. So it makes total sense to me when you think about, I wanted to make dancing TikToks with my mom because my mom actually loves dancing, and she does ballroom dancing on the side as a hobby, but she's in a literal boot. She had to get surgery on her leg almost at this point a year ago. And so she's still in the final stages of healing and everything. And I was like, next Christmas, Mom, we are making TikToks. So I get it. I'm all
It's funny
about
that you say
TikTok
that.
too.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because my mom downloaded TikTok and she's being shared. I showed her how to share videos on WhatsApp, like from TikTok, like how
Yep.
easy it is by just clicking a button. And
Yep.
she's been sharing videos to me on tips to fold your laundry. And I'm like, is this like you tell me to do my laundry? Like, come on. I know I do
Oh
my
my God,
laundry.
that's
Apparently, I'm not
amazing.
doing it correctly. But yeah, I'm definitely seeing a lot of not just young adults joining TikTok, but a lot of um moms and dads joining TikTok just
Yes.
for the fun of it.
Oh my God. Okay. Olivia said that the Smith family made a lot of TikTok. So number one, not only is the top thing on my to-do list after this episode is to go watch Olivia's TikTok,
Family
but
TikTok.
yes, but I also deeply need to be adopted. I know that we're all unofficially adopted into the Smith family, but I'd like to be actually legally adopted. So I need, I'm just going to try and work my way in because I want to do family TikToks more than anything. So I'm going to jump into our next news story here, which is that Clubhouse launched saved replays, which really means that they are really trying to enhance their functionality, making it so much easier. If you are doing a Clubhouse talk, it is now so easy for you to save that entire talk, repurpose it as a podcast, save audio snippets. There's just so much happening when, like Andrea said, when it comes to news and social media starting off this year. Because the other story that we want to tell you before Andreas has a big Facebook update is Instagram just put out, the head of Instagram, Adam Mosseri, put out that Instagram is testing the ability to give users control basically the ability to change how your feed looks. You're going to have the option of 3 different feed layouts. And if you want to get that full update, we will post that in the comments, but also you can go head over to Adam Massari's Instagram. He posted a whole reel about it, super informative. And it's super cool to see how Instagram is going to start putting the kind of like giving the users the keys, because we're going to be able to control our layout a little bit more. And I think that that's amazing. So what do you think about that, Andreas? And then tell us this big Facebook news that you found.
I think that it's great that Instagram is working on ways to show you what you want to look at. And I know that this new newsfeed update, it's going to be a relief for a lot of people. I don't know how many of our viewers right now have been in the situation where they open the Instagram app and they see a picture on their newsfeed. They scroll over it because they didn't just think anything about it, but then it appears again as they scroll, and it's like annoying. Like, didn't I just scroll over this? So apparently, with this new newsfeed updates, that's going to change. You won't see the same repeated post over and over, and I'm excited. Like I, I like how Meta, we should call it Meta now, it's working on ways to increase user experience. And we saw it in 2021, which is actually my next article here with Facebook, how they did so many updates to um, increase the user experience on their newsfeed. And I wrote down some notes here from what I read over the article, a recap of 2021 and the Facebook updates for their newsfeed. And I have here that in February, they tested a new tool to reduce political content in the newsfeed in response to direct feedback. Later in May, they added new options for where and how people can choose to see reaction counts on Facebook. And this applied to Instagram as well, but it was not rolled out completely. And in August, Facebook launched their first ever widely viewed content report to share what content it's seen by the most people in the newsfeed in the US. So it's kind of like top articles, but of course related to what your interests are. So
Yeah.
heading into the new year, I feel like Facebook will continue to share updates and do more tests and test features that aim to give users more control and connect them with meaningful content. I mean, after all, um, we want to see meaningful content. We just don't want to see random stuff that we don't care about. So I
Exactly.
think that they started the year testing this out on Instagram, but I'm excited. I'm excited to see what our guest predictions will be here, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm very excited to hear from Jessica, because Jessica is like a wealth of information, and she also is friends with people that work and specialize in so many different platforms. So she knows what is up when it comes to predictions for 2022. But before we bring Jessica on, we want to give a few shout outs, because you guys know we love our shout outs. So it is time for shout outs. If you have a birthday, if you have something fun that you are celebrating, we want to know. We want to shout it from the rooftops here. We have a very special shout out to give, because tomorrow is George DeManis's 1-year anniversary. So we're so, look at that.
Congratulations, George.
So cute. We love you, George DeManis,
Wario.
seriously, so much. So if you guys are celebrating something special, please let us know. We want to shout it out. And I'm going to shout out the fact that it's 2022, which means we as a team are starting to plan for Social Media Week Lima. We are getting so excited. It is June 15th and 16th in Lima, Ohio. Tickets are on sale at sociallima.com. But rather than talk about it, I'm going to let you guys see a little video that is totally going to set the stage for you, all about it.
Social Media Week Lima. I am so excited. Your message is bigger than your product. What are they connecting with about us as a brand? What is our message that they're aligning with?
absolutely love it. I've walked away with so many great ideas.
By far, the best run event that I've been to.
That's the key. Focusing on the people that you've already won, that already love you, and just empower them to want to do more.
Events like this really give us the opportunity to come together, to meet, to make connections, to build relationships that we can take forward and use 365 days a year.
Oh, y'all, I hate boring. It is my goal in life to make sure that y'all leave here with a plan.
We can't tell stories that matter until we understand that consumer. We understand how they feel. We need to care about each other. We need to care about our consumers, and we need to show we care in everything that we do.
Hey, yeah.
You are worthy of the challenge of being an entrepreneur. You are worthy of making the world a better place.
We are joined by Jessica. Hi.
Yay. Hello. So good to be here with you guys.
Oh, love having you here. This is
Welcome.
so much fun. You were on for episode 1 to kind of help Andreas and I feel confident to run this thing. And now you're here for our first episode of 2022.
You guys are pros now. You got it. You had it from the beginning anyway. But,
Yeah. We're way more comfortable
The
now.
more we do it, the better we get at it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, that Chad is behind the scenes doing all this fun stuff. And Chad is the host of a show that Wave Video does called Live Better. And like everyone always says, it's like the more you do anything, the better you get. So I'm super excited that you're here, Jessica. We've got a whole bunch of questions for you. We're going to get into the nerdy stuff before we have fun and play a game. So, so my first question for you is just how'd you bring in the new year and what are you most looking forward to this year?
Ooh, so I brought in the new year like I'm going to experience this whole year, which my word for the year is effortless joy. So I spent some time at a dueling piano bar in Columbus with some friends and just hanging out and enjoying just good music and good friendship, fellowship. So it was effortless joy and it was good. And that's what I'm most looking forward to this year, is continuing on with that theme, really just spending time with people that are easy to spend time with and that bring joy, for sure.
I absolutely love that. That is so great. What a great way to bring in the new year. And I love that word too. So my next question for you is, what are the 3 C's? Can you break down clarity, consistency, and conviction? I want to, like, why are these 3 so important? And especially as we're moving into a new year.
Yeah, so I think that kind of succinctly says what brands should focus on. I mean, there's a lot packed into those 3 C's, and there's a lot more C's, I should say, with it. But with clarity, I think that's one of the biggest areas that brands should focus on, because once you get crystal clear on who you are, kind of starting from that inside out, as we like to say, as a brand, and who you are as far as how you want to show up, who you want to show up for, who you want to show up with, like who you're really there at the end of the day to do business for, right? And why it matters. Once you can get clear on that and get that clarity, you feel this excitement and conviction, which is the second C, about what you're doing, right? And once people show up with conviction, that's where the care comes from, right? Like, and we know we're all about out caring the competition and just showing up to care more. But once you have that conviction there, then you really do start caring. And that's something that you can't fake. It's something that, others are then attracted to. It creates this magnet then for that brand to attract in the right people to them. And not just their customers that they're serving, but the team members, right? And who they're aligning with and collaborating with, which that is also part of that clarity and conviction is collaboration, right? Because now you know, okay, here's who we can also partner up with in order to serve more, to outcare even more at the end of the day. And then the consistency part is really about showing up and doing it day in, day out. When you get consistent with your clarity and your conviction and you stay aligned and you keep showing up, then you become what I call craveable. So it's what's really going to draw people into you and keep them coming back, because now you're reliable, right? And now they know what you stand for. They know why you're doing it. They feel that it matters to you, and that it matters that they matter. At the end of the day, it creates a sense of belonging, and that's what's going to keep that repeat referral business coming back to you. And I love to say community is something that's not for sale, because it's not. And we were talking about apps. You were talking about all these changes that are happening. And we were talking about the VR, right, Andreas, and where people are creating their own little worlds to hang out, and the TikToks, and, you know, the private messenger groups, and the Clubhouse, the social audio. People are going to smaller, more niche communities of where they want to hang out and what's going to bring them the best experience. So in order to be part of that as a brand, you really have to show up with those 3 C's in order to even get invited to that conversation, and to keep people coming back and choosing you again and again, because there's more options than ever before out there. So those are the 3 C's I think that matter the most. There's a lot packed into those, but if you can get those 3 right, you're doing a good job, and can have a sustainable long-term growth model in your business that's not going to be interrupted by a pandemic at the end of the day.
I love that. That there's so much that you packed into just those like 3 minutes. That's amazing. And so you mentioned care, and we're all about out caring the competition. So one thing I really want to know is, how do you think that brands can specifically be doing more of that this year? Like I think it would be super helpful for you to break down our CARE acronym, and then also kind of dive into what can brands do like actionably to really show that they're caring.
Yeah. So first I'll say this before we break it down. When you think about caring and how you want to show up as a brand, we have to realize that the veil between being a brand and your customer at the end of the day, or whatever you want to call them, client at the end of the day, that veil between brands and customers is a lot thinner now. And it should feel a lot thinner. It shouldn't feel as, you know, this corporate entity dealing with a no-name number of an individual. It should be a lot thinner, and it feels a lot thinner. We all went through this huge shift in humanity where all of us experienced the same hardships, right? All of us went through the same things. And I feel like that really separated the brands that do care and the ones that have some work to do. Because right after that, then what happened is, you know, the Great Resignation. People started realizing like, hey, this is what matters, is my time and what I care about. What am I passionate about? And does the people that I'm showing up and working for actually care about me? If not, I'm out. You know, there's still people that are struggling and brands that are struggling to get people just to come to work, right? Because if it doesn't matter at the end of the day, and you're not starting from that inside out mentality, then people aren't going to care about you as a brand, or you as a, you know, an employer. So the customers are the same way, right? Our customers now are feeling that same shift. Who did they support at the end of the day? If, you know, when everything started shifting, was based on convenience. One, you know, the brands were convenient.
Yep.
But the only thing without convenience were the experiences, the companies that we were working with, how they made us feel at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't cancel things that from organizations that I know cared. And I tried to support the brands that I know did care, and that they've showed up to me to support, you know, my kids' events, right? And sponsoring things at my kids' events, and, you know, showing up to maybe sponsor Social Media Week Lima. I wanted to make sure to support them too in the hard times when we were having the shift. So our customers are the same way. So how we can think about showing up to out-care the competition and to really grow that. The CARE acronym, I'm a huge fan of acronyms, breaks down to the first C, which is, capturing attention. In order to stand out as an organization, we have to think about how are we going to get noticed, right? They say, 90% of all buying decisions start online. People are doing a search. So if they are searching for a solution to solve a problem or, to find an answer to something, whatever that is, that search goes into, they're finding a plethora of answers. And I like to say it doesn't matter what niche of a business that you're in, there's someone else that does the thing that you do, right? We have, some unique businesses that we work with, and there's always another person that does that thing. So what is going to be the difference that separates you, option A, from option B, if both of you are, let's say, selling insurance or, a chiropractor, whatever, or if you're selling a water bottle, a client that we have that, selling water bottles, like what makes you different? Why am I going to choose you over someone else? And how are you going to capture that attention? So by capturing attention in a way that matters is about then articulating your message. And we just talked about that with clarity and conviction.
Yep.
Because when you're showing up then online, when people are doing their research about who to choose, because they say 60% of the buying cycle is over before somebody makes their pick, they're choosing and reading that content. They're seeing what other people are saying about the brands that they've worked with. Hopefully, they've already asked their network and their community for referrals too, and maybe what companies that they're suggesting. So if you've articulated your message really well with clarity and conviction, that's the A. The R part is about relationships, being a relationship-focused business. Then that's where people are going to want to refer you on. That's where they're going to want to, give you good reviews online. They're going to want to share your name on and insist that people do business with you. And they're going to stick with you, they being your current customer. So when somebody new is on this journey and they're seeing that other people are saying they have a good experience with you, which is the E part of CARE, experience, how we're making people feel, then that's when they want to do business with you, and that's what's going to make people stick. So that's the CARE: capturing attention, articulating your message, relationships, repeat referral business, and exceptional experiences. But your original question was, how can brands start doing that? In 2022 is to first get crystal clear and ask themselves the hard questions. Like, what is it that we're really here to do? We call this the Brand Manifesto. We have actually a worksheet online where it will help walk people through creating their manifesto too. I'm sure that we can put in the comments. But creating that manifesto and coming together to ask yourself the hard questions as a company, like, what is it that we're really here to do at the end of the day? It's not sell water bottles if we're a water bottle company. It's not to sell insurance if we're an insurance company. It's not to sell a widget if we're, a SaaS company. What is it that we're really here to do? For like the water bottle company that we worked with, it was, we help people provide or live an exceptional experience. Like that's what they wanted to help people do. It wasn't just about the product.
Yep.
It was about helping them live an extraordinary life and have exceptional experiences in life. So once they got clear on that, now they knew what to write content on.
Yep.
The things aligned with that. So once a brand can get crystal clear on that, now they know, okay, what kinds of content then are we creating that supports that? Articulating our message, right? Yep. What kind of people align with that message as well? Now you know who to build relationships with. And then what can we create online that helps to not just have a transaction, but to create the sense of belonging, right? So after you write your manifesto and you kind of go through those content steps and thinking through who do we want to align with, now I recommend that brands write out their process, their sales process from start to finish, like if they were brand new, and then beyond after somebody buys from you, and see where can we remove friction, where could we add delight, where can we deepen more of an experience with the people that are working with us. And once you can create some of those things, especially with all these new things that are coming out in 2022, like VR, for example, and more apps, and maybe it's creating audio messages, maybe it's doing a live show like this. Like you said, we talked a lot about video and ways to do that. on Tuesday. But all those things then will help you to show up to care more.
That's amazing. Yeah. And it's just so important too, because like you said, if you don't know who you like, what makes you you and who you are here to serve, how are you going to know who to speak to? And Chad, I love how you popped up in the show. Let us know in the comments, who are you here to serve? What does your business do? What makes you special? We want to know. We want to shout you out, and we want to be able to potentially connect you to people that we know that you guys might be able to collaborate and co-create something amazing together, because that is our focus for the year. That is going to be what we really dive into at Social Media Week Lima, because it is all about co-creation. That's how we create communities. It's how we make people feel special. And like Jessica said, it's how we make people feel cared about. So, Andreas, I've got a question for you. What was your biggest win in 2021 as an account manager?
So I'm glad you asked this question just after Jessica got done talking about the curve flywheel and everything, and how like the experience has to be aligned with everything to articulate that message online. And I think that, well, I don't think, I know, I'm confident that my biggest win last year was the relationship that I built with my clients. And you might be asking yourself, why is that a win? But I see it as a win because I'm not there. Like I live in Puerto Rico. I'm not in my client's same building. I don't know what's happening day to day there. So for me to articulate correctly the message that they want to put out, I need to have a great relationship with them, like constant communication daily. Like it could be text message, email, phone calls, messenger, anything. Like they send me stuff, not even work related, via Facebook Messenger. And we have this great relationship where I know what they like, and I can align their brand and their message to share it on social. So my biggest win was improving that relationship with my clients, so I know what's the correct message and how to articulate that message online for my clients.
I love that.
And
That
it's
is amazing.
great if you need someone to deliver a pitch.
You so did that, Andreas. Just to add on to what you just said, like, you know that you're doing something right when a client is growing with you, right? We always say if they're not growing with us, they're slowly dying with us, which is kind of a horrible and whatever that came from, one of those things. But it's so true. Like your client relationship is either growing and deepening, right? Or we are going to go deep, not just wide with adding on more clients. We want to go deeper with the clients that we have and grow with that relationship. And your clients grew with you. Many of the account managers have that, as well as they're sending testimonials on your behalf, for you. They did video testimonials, offering it up to do that. It wasn't like we're like saying, hey, we'll give you a gift card if you do a testimonial. They're like, hey, we want to give you a testimonial, right? And not just that, referring their friends and others to do business with us too, as well as the same thing was like they're coming to us when they're looking to hire and like, hey, we trust your judgment. I love those words, and they've said that many times, like, we trust you in your judgment, and so we're coming to you for advice that doesn't really have anything to do with what we do for them, but because they have that good relationship and rapport, they're doing that. So kudos to you for that, and all the account managers.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I love that so much. So Andreas, you've got, I think, a few questions to ask Jessica.
Yes, I was going to say that before we head to the game time, I have 3 quick questions that I wanted to ask you. So where do you think the biggest area of opportunity lies for marketers as we move into the new year? Yeah,
for marketers, I think culture, honestly. I feel like culture is a big one because that helps you tell the story, right? It helps you also to have good rapport with your clients, because if your culture's right, the work's going to be right. You can't force somebody to care. You can't fake it, as I said. But when you get the culture right, and that means supporting your team, not just in the work that they do, but for who they are, right? Like, help them grow spiritually, mentally, physically, like support all areas of their life and build that culture. I'm not just talking about like a kegerator and ping pong tables and that kind of thing, although that's fun. But if you get the culture right, then the care is going to be there. One, the two, that it's going to be great things to be able to share, and people are going to get excited about talking about, you when they are in, the private channels, when the brand's maybe not there, right? It's, I forget who said it. It's, a brand is what people say, after you leave the room. But that's, even more so now, it's like what they say in the private messengers. So that's going to be positive, as well as then you are going to have more stories to be able to share as far as like what you're sharing on social, right? People are going to be attracted to what feels good. And if internally it feels good, people are going to feel that too, and it'll be replicated online, and it's going to attract more business to you. It's going to keep more business to you, and it's going to help making a job for a marketer a lot easier, because you can't market something that isn't. You can't. I should say now make it look shiny and marketable if internally it's not right.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I like that, and that all aligns to creating that experience. Like once you have that culture settled down, like you can start creating that exceptional experience for your clients, and it all goes back to growing your business. And I like your answer to that. So,
and there's a
my
ton of
next
tools,
question,
by the way. Like, oh, sorry.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead. I like when you talk about
I was going to say,
tools.
there's a lot of tools and all those things that we have. Like we wrote an article on like all the changes and all that that's happening, right? And of course, those things are going to matter to marketers. But it's kind of like another thing we say is like, it's not about the tools though. It's like the technique first. And that's why I say culture first. Like get that right first, because everything else is going to keep changing like a million times. Meta's going to keep doing their thing, whatever. Instagram's making a new layout and making things chronological. Like all these changes are going to keep happening. But that's the one thing that will stay consistent. Sorry to interrupt.
No, I like that. And me just randomly thinking about it now that you mentioned that, I want to put Facebook as an example. Before they released the Oculus Quest 2, they even changed their name to Meta, because and that's them before releasing the product, getting their minds right to prepare the whole company for a new virtual world. And that's what they were doing. Yeah. So my next question is, what platforms are you more excited to spend more time on this year?
I'm really excited for VR this year, actually, and just more immersive experiences overall. I'm excited about audio. I'm excited about Messenger, and just overall, like ways that you can enhance and deepen the experiences. So when you think about it, I just think of what are ways that you can add more senses of your customers getting awakened by what you're doing. So if you're writing something out, how can you add a visual component to it? How can you add some kind of feeling behind it, right? How can you invoke more senses into what you're sharing? That is the big thing. So I'm excited for VR because it is such an immersive thing, right? It's like the closest thing you can get, I would say, to being there. So a couple of clients, like one of our clients is using it for training, like for their tool, Mr. Manhole, like, instead of just sending the tool and having somebody watch videos, that if you're doing a 45-minute video, what's going to happen? Your eyes are going to glaze over with training. We've all done it for, getting our inbound certificates and all the things we have to do with that. But if you have a headset on and you're not just being told, hey, here's how you change the teeth on this tool. It's like, pick up the tooth with your handset, put it here, and you're learning in a way that's not working on a $30,000, piece of equipment too. You're able to do it, by virtual reality, as well as experiencing things before they're there. Like Crossroads is another client of ours. It's multi-use development that they're building, but right now it's just empty farmland, right? So imagining this big, huge mall in a city that doesn't even have a mall yet, close to it. is kind of hard to do unless you're immersed in that to get excited about it, right? Because once you can see it, feel it, experience it, you can get excited about it. And now they have more and more people showing up to do just that. So VR is, I think, a great way of doing that and just fully, getting a more immersive experience. There are other ways to do it too, but that's one I'm probably most excited about.
I agree. Same for me, and I would like for our viewers to comment what app are they more excited about. And just as you, Jessica, I'm excited for virtual reality. The other day I went to a game room and they had this roller coaster, a virtual roller coaster, and I was like, "There's no way that." Because people were getting out of it like surprised. I'm like, there's no way it could be that real, like a real roller coaster. Like you're stationary. How does it feel real? I got in and I couldn't even like lift my hands. I was like, oh, we're going up, we're going down. I'll lift my hands. I got scared. Even though I knew I was sitting on a normal chair. I'm like, oh my God, I'm holding myself. My girlfriend recorded me. I'm like, there's no way I look like that. But I feel like there's not a lot of people out there that understand how good this virtual reality looks, like how somehow real it looks and feels. So
and what all you can do with it, like the therapy that they're doing with nursing homes and stuff too. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I can't hear. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, I can't hear you guys. I think my AirPods. I think my AirPods run out of battery.
We can hear you though.
All right, that's good.
Yeah, oh my God.
And
there's so many opportunities when it comes to VR. But go ahead, Andreas.
Yeah, like I wanted to get your opinion in VR too. That was my question.
Oh, me?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I don't have an Oculus. I don't have any of the fun tools yet, but it's funny because hearing you say like the quality of it and it feeling real, I remember as a kid, like I was a kid, maybe I was 8 or 9, and we were at Disney as a family, and I have a vivid memory of doing this like ride that you were like, I don't know, it's maybe like 10 people in a thing. And I don't know if you had something like this or if it was just like in a screen right very close to your face. And it was like, we were like went into the body to like take out a splinter, I believe is what this is. If anyone knows what I'm talking about in terms of a Disney ride, please let me know. Cause like, I kind of feel a little bit crazy, but I have this very vivid memory and it felt so real. I remember like being like, and that was a long time ago. So the technology has really evolved since then. So I can't wait to put on an Oculus and actually, yes, definitely at Epcot. Yeah. Absolutely at Epcot. I know that for certain.
Oh, they have such like immersive tech there. But even before, like if brands, like think of what we're seeing with VR, and let's just say this is a big jump. Like you're like, we're not even there yet. We don't even have the Oculus. I feel like to gamify though, right? Or think of like ways that you can do rewards and or gamify, education, right? Making learning fun, or maybe it's just rewarding your clients in a way, but a way that you're creating a sense of belonging to have a shared experience with them is the goal. So like many clients, we're starting out with just helping them create an app first, a way of staying communicated and making it a utility though, meaning something that's helpful for them, something that they'd be willing to pay for because it's so good. You just don't want to put the same information in just another spot and tell people to download something, but giving them a utility, a resource. Like, for example, the VR that we were talking about, like many nursing homes have been using this for therapy, and they get people, the residents, to do more therapy because they're enjoying it, right? And so it's a rewarding experience. And then the families that are, seeing their loved one, improving the health, right? So there's so many different ways of doing this. But start with where you're at, now, and just think, how can we create a utility and a resource to get our customers, clients, team involved in a way that's rewarding to them, right? And that's the goal, and then keep building up from there.
I love it. Are you guys ready to play a game?
I am.
Okay. Okay, so here's the thing. We play a game on Now and Then that we like to call This or That. And I wanted to do a fun spin for this episode. And Andreas doesn't know what's about to happen. So I'm going to explain how we're going to play This or That this month. This is our rapid fire style question game. It's like I give you two options. You say what your favorite is. But I'm going to put Andreas in the hot seat. And here's what I want to do. Jessica, I'm going to ask you the question. Andreas, you have to answer what you think Jessica's answer is. So Jessica, and Jessica is going to let you know whether you are right or you're wrong. And when I explained this all to Chad, Chad said we should rename this as Hired or Fired.
Oh God! Now I'm nervous. Now that you said that, I'm nervous.
So we're playing This or That Hired or Fired edition. And obviously this is all in the fun of games, right? But I think this is a very fun spin. We're going to see, Andreas, how well do you know Jessica? You got a 50-50 shot on every question. So you can't do that bad, Andreas. I'm rooting for you here, okay? I know.
Watch me get all this wrong.
Difficult. I'm an open book. Yeah.
Okay. Are you both ready? We're starting off simple. Jessica, you got to make a mental note because you got to give a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Andreas, you're the one who answers here. So Jessica / Andreas as Jessica, apple or banana?
Apple. Am I right?
Yeah. Okay, Andres, you're off to a good start. Hired. He's hired. Okay. We're going to make it a little bit harder this time. Jessica, would you rather travel to Paris or go to Italy?
I think she would rather go to Paris for the Eiffel Tower. Yes or no?
Yeah. Good.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Okay.
Hired again.
Hired again.
I had to think about that one, honestly, Andreas. So I don't know. I would have given you a thumbs up. Either one's good to me.
Hot chocolate or apple cider?
Definitely hot chocolate. I don't apple cider. I don't know how I feel about apple cider myself. Like I only drink apple cider because it's healthy for you. It's good for you. That's the only reason I drink it.
No. Apple cider vinegar and apple cider are not equal.
I used to think that. Anyways, I will still say hot chocolate because I know that Jessica likes hot stuff like hot chocolate and coffee, so I will go with hot chocolate.
Yep.
Where'd you get that picture?
Is this the first time you're seeing this?
It's been on a few times.
Oh my God, Chad's been popping this up.
Noticed it.
You're hired again, Andres. You're 3 for 3.
All right,
I'm pretty impressed.
That's good.
I like peppermint hot chocolate specifically.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
That sounds very good.
Good to know.
Okay, Andreas, I feel like you definitely should know this one. Tattoo or piercing?
Tattoo. No?
I don't know. I have both.
Right?
I have both.
But I would think if someone's like, okay, Jessica, we're going to get a. I think.
Oh, okay.
You know, I think you'd be like more on the tattoo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for
you
sure.
already have ideas of what you're gonna get maybe next.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Good job. Thumbs up.
Hired again, Andres.
I guess I'm hired again.
Okay, so the last one. Andreas, would Jessica rather be able to breathe underwater or fly?
I know she likes to travel, so I would say fly because she knows she's going to save a lot of money on plane tickets.
You know, if you can breathe underwater, you can also travel, right?
Yeah, no, but there's a lot of danger underwater. There's sharks, there's whales, there's a lot of danger. You know, you're not going to make it alive. Whereas if you're flying, you're only battling with birds.
I mean, you're dealing with elements on both sides. You're dealing with wind gusts and storms.
No, I would much rather fly. Honestly, I went to go scuba diving with Bella, and God love her for having so much patience with me because I barely went underwater, and you could breathe while you're underwater with using like the tools and stuff, the scuba diving tools.
Yeah.
But you would think that I was dying anyway because I'm like, you know, it's such a weird feeling going underwater. Even when you can breathe, you feel like you can't. So definitely flying for sure.
Well, Andreas, you
I
are
think there's a
hired.
technique for that.
Well, Andreas, you
Go
won the
ahead,
game.
Julia. Yeah, I got hired, what, 5 times?
5 times.
That's a win.
Yeah.
At least
Oh,
I'm
that's a
fired
total
once,
win.
so
Good job.
So I'm going to ask some questions to Jessica too, I understand here. So so game 2 right now. Jessica, are you ready?
I think so.
So we're curious, what was your first word as a kid, if you remember? Or the one that you remember?
Oh, I don't know. I think my mom said I said probably mom or something first. I don't know.
Andreas, do you know yours?
No. To be honest, I do not. I don't remember. I don't remember almost anything from my childhood besides baseball. It might sound
I remember
weird,
a lot from
but
my
I feel like I
childhood.
deleted my whole mind, like my whole past, and I don't remember,
Same.
to
Like
be
there's
honest.
like fragments, right? Like fragments of it. Yeah. Mhm.
So, what's your go-to Starbucks order?
Ooh, okay. So I do have this a sugar-free, venti, sugar-free cinnamon dolce frappe with coconut milk, no whip, but dulce spray, the sprinkles on top.
That sounds so good.
Okay, so
It is good.
if I ever have to go to Starbucks to get you that, I'm going to record myself because I can probably go viral on TikTok trying to order that for you. It's gonna sound so funny.
Yeah. It's so good.
Okay, so Andreas, I've got a question for you before I ask Jessica a few questions. What's your biggest goal for 2022?
Be fearless.
Ooh.
So hear me out. I want to be fearless. Like I want to try stuff that I've never tried before. And one of those includes scuba diving. Like I'm terrified of animals underwater. And I bought myself a bodyboard to body surf too. So like I'm trying out new things that might scare me, but they're not dangerous. They're just normal thing that a lot of people do on their daily living. Like last year, I jumped off a plane with a parachute, and I was terrified about it. But once I hit ground, I'm like, this was amazing. So just because I was scared of jumping off a plane with a parachute, I didn't know what I was missing out, and I will definitely do it again if I had the chance. And sometimes we just don't know how many stuff we miss out just because we fear of them. And yeah, my goal for this year is to be fearless and try out new things, even though if I'm scared, I'm just gonna jump in and do it.
Oh my God, I love that. You're inspiring me to do karaoke because the reason karaoke scares me, and it's like there's this assumption that if you like public speaking, you just like automatically like karaoke. It's like all I feel like big conferences are like paired with this, like, ooh, and everyone's gonna do karaoke because like I think there's this assumption, right? You like to perform. I love to speak on a stage. Put a microphone in my hand and ask me to sing, and I am like sweating profusely. It makes me so nervous, but it's not dangerous. Nothing bad is gonna happen. The worst case is I sound stupid and people laugh. Like that's the absolute worst. And most people are super supportive in a karaoke environment. Even if you're bad, people are like, yeah. So, Andreas, you are inspiring me to.
So I heard a commitment at Social Media Week Lima 2022 that we're going to kick things off with you. That's kind of what I heard. Is that
my God, kick things off, literally. Actually.
So last year, though, we could break it in soft for you because last year we had group of so many amazing, sweet people that did what was it? Summer Nights. Yeah,
Yes.
Grease.
Summer
like a
Lovin'.
rendition of that. Yeah, Summer Lovin'. And we had 20-something people on stage there and doing it, and Chad was singing with Lainey, and there's so many everybody was doing it together. And so we could even do something like that to break it in first for you.
Yes.
You know,
that's exactly what I need. I need like a little bit, just like, you know, dipping my toes in first before I'm like fully, because Samantha Sovia, she kicks ass at karaoke. She is so impressive. She like belts it out on stage, and I'm like,
she's
how
a
do you do
singer.
that?
Yeah.
And she's like,
a singer.
Yeah, she's a singer.
For real.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well,
Here's
I
the
love
thing about
it.
karaoke's. Here's the thing about karaoke's. You only need one song, and once you're done with that song, you don't want to like leave the mic. You don't want to pass it out. Like once you break the ice after that one first song, you're just gonna keep rolling. And I'm telling you, because I also experienced this last year. I was scared of singing karaoke, and I did, and then I didn't. I wanted to keep on going. I'm like, no, it's not your turn. I'm singing.
Okay, this is
So I love that you wrote that you exactly, and I love that you're saying being fearless. I just did this with a couple friends the other day, and we wrote out the 10 things that we want to make sure we do, instead of like making this bucket list to wait that's always like tomorrow, right? Or later. I'm going to do that. It's like, what are you doing now? So like I just signed up for like guitar lessons, right? And things like that, like the things that you want to do and doing it now. So if you have 10, then that's like one thing a month, and it even gives you a couple bonus months there. But like you said, as soon as you do that one thing, you're going to get hooked, because there's just such this overwhelming like feeling of, one, accomplishment, but two, like it's just self-love. You did something for yourself. Like how often do people do that? They don't. And this is a call to all the companies out there to instill some of those things for your team to be able to do these things now.
I love that. I love that so much. So before we kind of wrap up and leave everyone with a little nugget, I just got 2 questions for you. I want to know, what was the biggest or the best purchase you made in 2021?
Ooh. Oh man. Best purchase. Oh, there's so many good ones. I would say it was less of a purchase, more of an investment. We spent a whole year at Now Marketing Group doing the Level Up challenges, where the team members, are rewarded for reading or something, or rewarded for doing something healthy, or just something for themselves in that way. So I would say investing in more of the team, as well as giving myself permission to do more of an up-leveling, right, of some kind, whether that's up-leveling, by learning something new, or up-leveling by, getting more healthy habits together. But I would say that, and what came of that for me is I got aerial yoga subscription to learn to do that, as well as like the silk ropes, as well as learned just more techniques to be better at the craft. So I would say Level Up challenges, probably.
I love that so much. I don't know if you guys can hear behind me, but you guys can let me know if you hear like literal howling in the background of my audio, because I live adjacent to a doggy daycare in my building, and this is the time that people come to pick their dogs up, and so you can like hear literal dog howls through that little vent right there. So it's dog o'clock right now. So my
clock, I like that.
my Gouda goes crazy. He like looks up. He's like, "Where are all the dogs? I need to be friends with all of them." So my last question for you, Jessica, and then I want you to kind of just leave everyone with a little tip, a little nugget, as well as how they can get in touch with you specifically. If you could have dinner with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Oh man, without question, my dad. I would say, just to have like one more dinner would be awesome. For for sure, like personally. Professionally, it would probably be, oh man, Seth Godin or Simon Sinek, or Marcus Lemonis, like one of those three. I love those guys. And just their brains are cool.
I love that. So what's a little tip that you can leave everyone with as we really kick off this new year and really start really embracing co-creation in the metaverse?
Yeah, I would say there's going to be so many changes. You're hearing probably about NFTs and Bitcoin and, you know, all of these advancements, right? And I'm sure there's this fear of getting left behind. But I would say focus first on what's the most important by starting from the inside out. Like if you can start there, that's the stuff that you don't have to, you know, outspend the competition. You can literally outcare the competition. And that way, yes, pay attention to the changes that are happening. It's going to keep getting faster and faster and faster, these changes that are happening. But start first with creating that firm foundation and truly starting from the inside out. Again, we'll make sure that there's like a workbook that you can use, and it's free, you know, to download. If you want some help in asking the right questions to yourself, or to your clients, even if you're showing up and helping them do this, you know, helping them ask themselves the same questions, right? But start there and then focus on going deeper, not wider. So what I mean by just focusing in on, you know, you don't have to have 10,000 customers. You could have 100 customers that are growing with you, right? Just focus on ways that you can go deeper, not wider. I think if you can simplify, you'll be a lot happier at the end of 2022, and you'll still make a lot more money. You'll be surprised how doing less can be a lot more by just focusing on the things that matter.
I love that. Well, that's such good advice. And you guys, if you want to make sure that you never miss out on everything that we are putting out in our blog, which we publish a blog at least one every single week, make sure you type the word recap in the comments. You will get subscribed to our blog so you don't miss out on any of the content that we have been working on creating for you guys. And make sure that you mark your calendar, because February's episode is going to be super fun. We have the amazing Bree Anderson coming, and Bree Anderson is an analytics master. She is literally a rock star when it comes to all things data. She's going to help you understand all the things that you need to dive into specifically when it comes to Google Analytics, Facebook Insights, all of it. And the best part is we're going to do a giveaway next month. Bree is going to give 30 minutes of consulting time to someone who is spending some time engaging with us. So if you've got questions for Bree, if you want the chance to win 30 minutes of time with Bree, you definitely want to make sure that you are getting engaged in those comments. So don't miss out, you guys. Mark your calendar for February 3rd. It's going to be super fun. We go live on the first Thursday of every month at 3:30 p.m. So we look forward to seeing you guys then. And
can I mention one thing before we close out? We do have an article on predictions that I published on Forbes with a bunch of predictions there, or even the Now site. So we'll make sure to put that in the comment too. That does list out the specifics with links to like the changes that are happening too. So we'll make sure to put that in the recap.
Yes, we will get that for you guys. And yeah, one-on-one time with Bree. Bree was one of our Social Media Week Lima 21 speakers, and she was rated super highly. Like everyone loved her session. So you guys are not going to want to miss out. She's going to share so much value, and you're going to get the chance to maybe get some one-on-one time with her, which is going to be hugely valuable for your business. So I know Andreas and I are excited for next month. So we will see you guys on February 3rd.